Hello everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Dre White. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please, if this is the first time you're checking on my channel, kindly hit on that subscribe button and turn on notification bell so that you get notified whenever I post a new video. Thank you. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to draft and cut a native wear, or we can call it a senator wear, a male senator wear. Actually, that is what we're going to be doing today. So I've already folded my fabric into two, and I've gone ahead to mark out the starting point. So that line there is where we'll be taking all our measurements from. That's the starting line, or call it the shoulder line. So the first thing we're going to do at this point is to mark out the shoulder point. So the shoulder I'm working with is 18 inches. So when we divide 18 into 2, we'll be having 9 inches. So after taking the 9 inches, I'm going to go ahead and add 0.5. So that 0.5 is for joining at that shoulder point. So the next thing we're going to do is to take the chest line. So for the chest line, I'm going to be taking 7.8. I will mark out 7.8. I will just take 7.8 for now. I'm still going to bring down the armhole. So after taking the 7.8, I will go ahead and mark out the line that we have there. So this is the chest line. So after doing that, the next thing I'm going to do, so whatever measurement I have on that shoulder point, I'll be bringing it down to the chest line. So that 9.5 I have on that shoulder point, I'll just go ahead and bring it down to the chest line. Then I'll connect it together, as you can see. So I've done that already. So the next thing I'm going to do, I just want to extend the chest line, because that's what we'll be taking our armhole measurements. So after doing that, I'm going to be taking the neck width. So the neck width I'm working with is 2.5, and the neck depth I'll be taking 2.5. So the round neck measurement I'm working with is 16 inches. So I'm just taking 2.5. I'll still go ahead and measure it out. So after doing that, I'll just use my free hand, or you can as well use your curve to connect it so that you have a smooth line. So that is what I want to do here. I'll just go ahead and connect what we have there. So after doing that, the next thing we are going to do is to take the shoulder slope. So the shoulder slope that we'll be taking for this particular male senator wear is 1.5. So I'll mark out 1.5. After doing that, I'm going to connect it to the neck width, as you can see. So I'm connecting it to the neck width. So now at this point, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take the armhole measurement. So I'll just go ahead and place my tape on that chest line and mark out 3 inches upward. Then on that point where I marked out 3 inches, I will go in with 0.75. So that's what I've just done. Go in with 0.75 and connect it to the shoulder slope. And I'm going to use my curve at this point to connect it. So from that point, I'm connecting it to the chest line. So this is the round armhole that we're taking. So don't bother that it's looking too small. We're still going to extend it a bit. So this is what we have now. So now at this point, the next thing we're going to do, we are going to be taking the chest measurement. This is a male top, so there's nothing like that we're adding to it. So you just go ahead and take the chest measurement, the round chest. So the round chest measurement I'm working with is 40 inches. 40 divided by 4 will give me 10 inches, and I added 1 extra inch to it for seam allowance. So after doing that, we're going to be taking the length of this top I am working with. So the length I'm working with is 32 inches, but I went ahead and took 32.5 inches, and I'm going to add an extra 2 inches or 2.5 inch for the folding allowance. So I'm going to add an extra 2 inches or 2.5 inches. It depends on what you want to add for the folding allowance. So I added 2.5 inches for the folding allowance. So that's what I'm doing now, and I'm going to connect what I have. So So after connecting it, the next thing we're going to do at this point is to take the shoulder to the waist measurement. So the shoulder to the waist measurement I'm working with is 17 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark down the 17 inches and I'll just connect it this way. So this is what I'm going to do on the waistline. I'm going to measure what I have on the chest line. So what I have there is 11 inches. Remember, we added 1 inch for seam allowance. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take out 0.5 inch from that 11 inches. So what I'll be having left is 10.5. So on that waistline, I'm going to take 10.5 inches. So I'm going to come down to the hemline. I will go up with 7 inches. Remember, we are going to be having an opening there. So I'm going up with 7 inches. I will connect it this way. So on that hip point, which is where I have the 7 inches. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure out what I have on the chest line, which is 11 inches. So I will come down to the hip line and take 11.5 inches. You can as well take the same 11 inches. So I just want that curvy effect there. So after doing that, I'm going to add 1 inch for seam allowance. So I'll just go ahead and connect what I have. So from that 11.5 inch, I'm taking it to the waist, and from the waist point, I'm taking it to the chest line. So that is what I've done. So I'm going to measure out what I have there. Whatever I have there, I'll bring it down to the hemline, and I'm going to be taking a straight line there. So this is what I'm doing. I will just go ahead and connect what I have now. So this is how our top is going to look like. So some persons like it straight. So if you want yours straight, you just go ahead and take whatever you have on the chest line and still take it on the waistline, which is 11 inches, and you just connect it that way. So that way your top is standing straight without having any form of shapy effect. So but I always want my senator top to have a bit of curve. I like the feeling it gives my clients. So that is why I'm having that curve there. I normally take out 0.5 from the chest measurement. So now I've cut it out, and this is what our top is looking like. Very simple and very easy if you follow the process. So I folded my fabric into two again. Now we'll be cutting the back. So now we're going to be placing the front part on the back parts I will be cutting. So I'm going to go ahead and place the front part on the back, and I will ensure that they are both aligning at the center back there. So that's what I'm just trying to do, to ensure that they are both aligning. You don't want to have any space there. So this is what I'm going to do. So after doing that, I am going to ensure that on the hemline for the front, it is not equal with the back. I'm going to be leaving out a space of 3 or 4 inches at the hemline. So that is what I've just checked, and I saw that I have a space of 3 or 4 inches. So this is the shoulder point now. So for the back neck depth, I will come down with 1 inch. After coming down with 1 inch, I am going to connect it. So the neck width still remains the same. So after connecting it, I am going to cut it out. So I'm going to cut it out and cut through the shoulder slope. I am still going to cut through the shoulder slope. So after, when I get to the end of that shoulder point, I will still take my hand down a bit up to 1.5. Then I bring it down just the way you see me doing on the video. So after doing that, the next thing we're going to do now, I'm going to pull down this front part, the front top that we have cut out, and pulling it down. Remember, we left out some inches at the hem. So I'm trying to pull it down so that I can have a space of 2.5 or 2.75 at the upper part. So it can as well be 3 inches at the upper part. It all depends on what you are working with, the measurement you are working with. So but for me, I'll be using 2.75 for the space I want at the top. So I'm going to measure out what I have. I think what I have is about 2.75 or so. So you measure it and ensure that it's equal at both at the shoulder points there. So after doing that, the reason for this space is because we are going to overlap it to the front part. So now I've discovered that what I have is actually very okay. So on that shoulder point, I'm going to mark out 1/2 inch on the front, 1/2 inch on both sides. Just watch what I'm doing. Then I'm going to overlap the back to the front this way. Can you see it? So that is the shoulder point where you'll be sewing. So now at this point, I'm going to iron it out because I want to be able to see the crease line. So I will just go ahead and iron it out. So now I've ironed it out. Can you see the crease line? I'm sure you can see the crease line. So this is what I was trying to explain. After overlapping it, you iron it out. So now we're going to cut out the back part of this top. So after cutting it out, this is what we have. Everything is actually the same. It's just the overlapping that is somehow different. So now you're going to overlap it and cut out the inches that is left out there. So we have like 0.5 inch there that is not making it balance on the neck, round neckline. So that is what I've just done. I've notched it. So now I'm going to cut it out. So I'm cutting from the crease line to where I notched. I'm cutting it out. So the reason for notching that point is to ensure that the neckline is equal. So now if you look at it, it's equal at this point. So I'm going to measure out the round neckline I'm working with. So the round neckline I'm working with, like I said earlier, is 16 inches. So when I measured it, I have my 8 inches. So 8 times 2, it gives us 16 inches. So this is what we have for the back. Guys, can you see? Very easy if you follow the process. So on the chest line, I'm going to come down with 1 inch. I want to measure out the armhole. So after measuring the armhole, I discovered that it's still small. So I'm going to come down with 1 inch and I will just go ahead and connect it this way. So after connecting it, I am going to cut it out. So I'll quickly go ahead and cut it out and we'll continue from there, because the next thing we're going to do is to cut out the sleeve for this top. So at this point, I'm going to measure out what I have on the armhole and I'm very okay with what I have. So guys, the next thing we'll do now is to fold our fabric because we'll be cutting out the sleeve for this top. So I folded my fabric into 2. So the sleeve length I'm working with is 23 and a half inches. So now I'm going to take out 3 inches from the 23 and a half inches, that is our sleeve length. So when I do that, I'm going to have 20.5. To go ahead and add an extra 1 inch to the 20.5 to make it 21.5 because of the joining at the shoulder and at the wrist area. So I'm going to go ahead and mark out 21.5. So that's what I've just done here. So after marking out the 21.5, I am going to connect it. So after connecting it, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to be taking the cap height for this sleeve. So the cap height I'm working with is 4.5. I'll just go ahead and mark out the 4.5 this way and I'll connect it. So the round sleeve I'm working with is 14 inches. So when I divide 14 into 2, I'll be having 7 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and take 10 inches. I'll be adding an extra 3 inches or 3.5 inches to whatever I have for the round sleeve. So after taking it down, I'm going to create a slanted line from that point upward. So I'll just go ahead and connect it this way. So after connecting it, I'm going to measure out what I have there. So whatever I have there, I'm going to divide it into 2 with my tape and I'll be putting a mark there just to get the center point. At this point, I'm going to get my curve ruler and I'm going to be connecting what we have there. So I've connected it and this is what it's looking like. So at this point, I'm going to take the shoulder to the elbow measurement. So what I have there is 12 inches. Yours could be 13 inches. So after doing that, I'm going to take the round elbow measurement. So I'm going to take what I have, and after taking it, I'll be adding an extra 1 inch for seam allowance. So now I'm going to come to the wrist area, and I'll be connecting what I have there. So I'll be taking the round wrist measurement. So the round wrist measurement I'm working with is 9 inches. 9 inches, I'm going to add an extra 1.5 inch to it. So that is what I've just done, and I will connect it to the armhole area. Then I'll be connecting it down to the wrist area. So this is what our sleeve is looking like. So I'm just trying to smoothen it out. So after doing that, I'll just go ahead and cut it out. So I'll be cutting for both. So I've already gone ahead to cut it out. So this is what we have for our senator wear or native top. So this is what the front is looking like. So I'm going to be adding the placket there, as you can see from the design that we have on the picture. So this is what the back is looking like. So the back is going to be having a yoke. I've gone ahead to cut out the fabric I'll be using for the yoke for the back. So this is what the back is looking like, and this is how we are going to place our yoke at the back. So this is what we have. We're almost done with what we are doing. So this is the sleeve. I've gone ahead to cut out the second sleeve, and this is what we have for the cuff. So for the cuff, I cut out 10 inches. Remember I said the round waist area is just 9 inches, so I added 1 inch to it. So now we have another thing to do on this sleeve area. Remember, this sleeve is going to be having an opening because it's having a cuff, and that cuff is going to be having an opening. So you're going to place your sleeve together, right sides facing each other. So the side we are viewing now is the wrong side. So after doing that, on this crease line, you iron out your sleeve to ensure you have a crease line. So on that crease line, I'm going to go out with 2.5 inches. 2.5, or it could be 3 inches. So I'm going out with 2.5 or 3 inches, and I'll connect it upward with just about 4 inch upward. So this is what I've just done. I'm going to connect what I have there. So after connecting it, I am going to mark out the point where I'll be stopping because I'm going to cut it. Yes, we're going to be opening it up. So I'm going to get my scissors and open it up to where I have marked. So when I get to the point where I have marked, I'm going to notch it sideways. So see the way I'm doing, just a small notch on both sides. So that's what I'm going to do, so that we'll be able to place our cuff very well on this sleeve. So I'm trying to mark out the back part so that you don't get confused, because it can really be a bit confusing if you did not mark it out. So guys, this is what we have for our sleeve, our senator wear, how to cut a senator top. So this is what we have for it. I'm sure you enjoyed the process. So please, if you find this video very helpful, please don't forget to hit on that subscribe button, and please turn on the notification bell so I get notified whenever I post a new video.